Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I have to take my glasses off so I can see you and then put them back on so I can read. Good evening. Welcome to our open mic, our annual open mic. We're excited that you're here. If you're a brand new member, we're also excited to have you. My business cards are on the table. I am the president of the Poetry Society, and I'd be happy to talk to you by email, phone, Zoom. We can meet, we can talk about ideas, because my vision is to celebrate poetry. And we walk and we read and we talk. It's a wonderful experience. We've been to Cypress Gardens and Sesquicentennial. Maybe there was somewhere else I'm forgetting. And we're giving away a beautiful guitar, and it happens to be this one. It is a Fender Elvis Presley model. So, and especially since we've lost Lisa Presley just yesterday, it's pretty interesting that happened. So we are giving this guitar away to the winner of our Poetry Trails contest, and the judge is working on that now. So we'll have an answer for that in just a few days. Okay. All right. Let's get started. Let me introduce you to Jim. Actually, let me read a little something. Project to make this state civil. Enhance your ABC 10 first alert weather.
The parental advisory label, created for records in the 1980s. $5,000. All right. For $5,000.
washed them over the barrier dam from the estuary next door. And when it receded, left them to life in a quarter acre of often fetid water. I have seen a 10-kilo black drum reeled in and flopping on the bank, silver panfish leaping for the sun, sunning on rotted leaves, and on the non-sentient side, tennis balls and sneakers, plastic trash bags, abandoned panties of teenagers hooking up on the backside between the swamp and pond. George, the great blue heron, watches it all from his outpost on the tallest tree, observes the egrets and small green herons as they play and feast on the line, contemplates the osprey diving in for dinner, the crested and for them all to be gone before floating down and stabbing the water for crabs, fish, frogs, salamanders, insects, and the occasional small mammal. For George is a carnivore like me. Any food will work, at least until his feathers fall off and he becomes a meal, as I and all shall gratefully do in our own good time. Thank you.
There was a Simpsons episode where Homer said, God knows everything. He's omnivorous. All right. Thank you, Charles. That was wonderful. We've got people here tonight who are from two extremes of the coast, Hilton Head and Myrtle Beach. I can't decide to start north or to start south. What should we do? I'm going to go with Richard Allen Taylor, Myrtle Beach.
Thank you, Jim. This one? This one? Is that better? Okay. Well, it's great to be here. I am really an expatriate of Charlotte. Recently, or about a year ago, moved to Myrtle Beach and joined the Poetry Society of South Carolina. And I'm happy to say that my article about Jim Lundy and his book, The History of the Poetry Society of South Carolina, will be published in the Main Street Rag winter edition that is upcoming. In fact, I think the editor was getting ready to mail out those copies now. So it'll, you folks, your organization, our organization will be part of that feature article in that issue of the magazine. And there's a great big old picture of Jim standing on a rooftop with a steeple in the background. The most spiritual moment Jim has ever known. Thank you, Tamara. So I do have a poem to read that mentions Charleston, but I don't recall ever reading it in Charleston. It's actually set in two different parts of the country. One is Charleston, the other one is Nevada. And just in case you might think this is autobiographical, and it is, this relates to a romance that happened long time ago between marriages. So this is called Geography of the Heart. She was never happy in Charleston, though I loved the sultry nights there, silken breezes from the harbor, where the Cooper joins the Ashley, and dark ships plod like old mules past Patriots Point, plow into the fog beyond Fort Sumter, stern lights fading to nothingness. She grew bored with the moist softness of the South, mountains low, lowlands tame. She took me to her desert, a crackling skillet, wildfires, burnt sagebrush, soot-blackened ponderosas. On the way to Tahoe, she showed me poles by the road over Mount Rose, put there to measure the snow and guide the plows away from the edge. The Sierras, in a hurry to fall down, tossed boulders like dice across the brown valleys. She loved living where desert and mountain can kill. Nevada, her dream, not mine. She kissed me goodbye in Reno, completing my degree in geography of the heart.
Very nice. Thank you, Richard Allen Taylor. All right, we're going to head out down to Hilton Head. Elizabeth Robin, come on down.
I had the opportunity this last year to be in 2 books. This is my own, To My Dreamcatcher, but I'm going to read from this one tonight. Ukulele is a compilation of 47 South Carolina writers, essays paired with poems. Many of the poems in this are from members of this beautiful society and deal with the difficult race history of South Carolina. And I thought it was timely because of all that goes on right now in our country to read something, because the wonderful editor who recruited me, Horace Mungen, was a dear friend. He didn't get to see this published. Herb Fraser has taken up the baton on that. But he gave me a lot of coaching on how someone who looks like me can address this history. And so this is what eventually happened. Everything that's in this poem factually is a part of public record. You can look it all up. The person speaking is a persona that I created. Sure. What Mama says. Don't think I'm haunted, exactly, not haunted, no, but I can't get one picture out of my mind. Truth means seeing clear. And hear what I see. Our mother's shot, just watched her husband die. The bullet what wounded her killed the baby in her arms. Pieces of brains and blood staining her shoulder. She looking back, see her man and baby burn, her house collapsing on him. Sky bright past midnight with their flames, and the turn rushing her 3 bleeding children across the street, push them under bushes where they crouch, untended by doctor or friend or food or drink for 3 days, while she wonder where her other 2 children be. Mama say, the truth will set you free, but I's feeling trapped inside this truth. Amongst 13 men charged, my great-grandfather, big and bold on that list, indicted, tried, and acquitted on all charges, including killing the postmaster and his baby, a father and his baby. So I ain't feeling free, just full of questions. Did my mama know this story? My grandma? Of course, they must have knowed. Lake City history ripe in atonement. The year my granddaughter born, we voted in 2011 to build a science museum in Ron McNair's name. In the year her mama graduated high school, whole town in 2003 placed a historical marker on the empty South Church Street lot to tell the story of Fraser and Julia Baker's lynching. You know, since the 1986, Ron McNair Boulevard crosses South Church Street, honoring him. Why? Atonement, maybe. Late as 1955, that's the year I was born, the Greater St. James burned. I hear because their preacher talking civil rights. Tain't a pretty history, but it aren't. In 1950, Ron McNair, born here, becomes valedictorian, MIT graduate, laser specialist, Renaissance man, Challenger astronaut, and the town's favorite black son. All them what saw the fire must have heard the shots. All them Christians, where was they? We got 61 churches in Lake City. 61 congregations maybe gone blind. Why didn't they petition for government pensions due? Get them Christian charity. Ain't Christian, but Lake City. Folk did it in 1898, and before and after, and ain't nobody served justice. Remember the Maine, but not Fraser Baker. And the stain spreads, don't it? If I can, Mama say the truth will set you free, but if and we can't see it, we ain't never be free. I still can't get that picture out of my head, out of my dreams. Haunts as sure as that shooting happened. Does a sign, a museum, atone enough?
Oh, thank you. That was great. Good reading too. All right, so if you got on this list tonight, then you went through the gatekeeper, John Byrne. He's still back there keeping the gate. Yes, he is a board member of the Poetry Society and has been for several years. And tonight he was making sure you're a member. So come on, John, read us something.
Can you guys hear me okay? So it's Friday the 13th, very special day. I was going to read my poem that is inspired by Friday the 13th, part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, but I reread it. Immortal. I'm summarizing, but that figures into this poem, which is called Jeepers Creepers 2001. I'm working on like a series. Anyway, you'll see. Jeepers Creepers 2001. The moon again silhouettes a scarecrow, the glow along the edges, luminescent white hair under shadow, under hat. Feathery flap of raven wings percusses the wary cat choir yowl. And out there, statuesque among the stalks, something covetous waits. Summer before senior year, and I'm sharing a car with my sister. We take night drives with the windows down, taste smoke and blow it up suburban streets into cornfields. She teaches me about living, about feeling death in your chest, letting desire in like a deep breath and holding it as long as you can. By now, I've collected boy smells in a box, the blanket that used to be his worn shoes to mow the lawn in, notes on notebook paper, loose leaf, his beat up copy of East of Eden. The siblings in the movie see be eating you and sexe forever vanity plates that Derry sees as beating you and gay fever. I've felt it too, in the chapel after hours, making out with the only other out boy at school, wishing he was someone else. At the campus shrine on the bluff, Mother Mary watching the sunset, head turned from the boys who swap spit on the bench at her feet, already having stepped over snakes on the path down, now safe in the cover of tall grass and a tree. I think we both take the place of someone more desirable. I think we both know we're not enough. His guilt is biblical, but mine is personal. I hurt the one I have because I can't have the one I want. I just know that it's not going to stop coming after you or anyone else it wants to. Once it has the scent of something it wants, it can't stop. I almost have him once, by the river, in our boxers, dirt and sweat caked on our skin as we pass a bottle of Coke with rum. We crossed a cornfield to get here, where he drips on the sand, leaves footprints I can follow, I can chase. But if I catch him here, what then? Flesh for flesh I pursue, but in the end, I want to be consumed. Let the last thing you see be my eyes in his head, through the holes in my head where those eyes used to be.
Well, thanks, John. It's really neat how that's one of the great things about poetry is inspiration. A poem can take go from an inspiration to something completely different and come back around to it, and it's wonderful. All right, how about we've got two Tinas here tonight, and I'm going to make them go in order. And I'm going to start with our Tina from the Poetry Society board. Come on down.
Hello, everybody, and our Zoom friends. We must not be too afraid of Friday the 13th because we came outside and we're walking down the streets of Charleston with all the haunting and trails. Talk louder. Okay. All right. Well, welcome, everybody. My name's Tina. I'm going to read a poem about the winter, since it's been kind of an unusual one so far. It's called Reheating Leftovers. A cold Monday morning, the windshield scraped in horizontal irregular stripes. Frost crystals bunched in a new formation near the middle above the wiper blades. An eighth of the windshield defrost in the driveway. Time's a wasting. Hunched down to peer out the opening that is quickly fogging up after getting in the car, in reverse to start the day, and then onward, billowing both inside and out. Left gloved hand under thigh on the seat, alleviating the sting. Right steers with the interior warms and visibility crests to about 50%. Hands switch places at the railroad crossing stop signal, pausing only to adjust the radio knob. It's just cold. This day somewhere between her birthday and his. Remembering the wad of a front page newspaper burned in the flue, his face disappearing, sending a swirled message long ago with feelings that warmed toes.
Thank you, Tina. And now the other Tina, Tina Regonia.
Thank you, everyone. I joined the Poetry Society last year. It was a birthday gift that I gave to myself. Can you hear me now? Is that better? Can you hear me? So I joined the Poetry Society last year. It was a gift to myself for my birthday. And I've just started writing again since then. And this is one of the poems I wrote in honor of my best friend. And ironically, we have been friends since our 13th birthdays. The title is Looking Ahead. Looking forward to wearing warmer apparel, selecting the ice blue fox fur collar with red satin ribbon, and Pendleton McGill tartan wool cape, enveloping me like a best friend's hug. Looking forward to feeling nature's shift to fall. When autumn morning air is brisk, I see my breath evaporate, disappearing like a magic trick. Looking forward to hearing the crunch and snap of leaves and twigs on slanted downtown sidewalks, beneath my new cashmere sock and old cognac leather boot-layered feet, walking my way home. Looking forward to preparing steaming hot cups of confection, gourmet sea salted caramel cocoa, incomplete without real whipped cream, providing a seasonal must-have sugar rush. Looking forward to noticing shorter days with still moments, match lighting champagne scented soy candles, accessorizing the evening with fragrance and flicker, gaining one more glorious hour. Looking forward to touching corners of my second story, provoking a half to full smile from anticipated memories.
Well, I, for one, am very glad that you gave yourself that birthday present and you were here to read for us tonight. So thank you. And I hope there's many more years of open mics to come for you with the Poetry Society. And you're not the first to die from the order of the reading. You know, what's interesting is that we've had our meetings on the second Friday of every month since the 1980s. So lots of our readings are Friday the 13th. I mean, it happens almost every year. So we flirt with this disaster actively. And then before that, when it was random nights or random days of the week, there were still Friday the 13th. So we don't believe in that nonsense. I was debating, I have a poem about, it's called January. And it seems to be the only one that people remember from me. They always say, I just love your poem. But I don't know, I was thinking about death today. I think January makes me think about death. And there was a time where I think we were hearing a lot of poets giving advice to what they want to be said at their funeral. That was going through Monday Night Poetry and Music. We're hearing a lot of that, and I thought, you know what, that's a damn good idea. Get this thing down in paper, and maybe because I've been to a lot of funerals that are just terrible, and they really could have done them a lot better. So let's see. This is called Notes to My Eulogist. Do not make me sound like a saint. Saints are tedious, and they never existed. People find saints boring anyway. More books were written about Hitler than Mother Teresa. Do not resort to platitudes. Nobody will listen. I will not be at rest, at peace, or in a better place. I did not pass over, pass on, pass away, get called to heaven, or shuffle loose the mortal coil. Just say that I'm dead and leave it at that. Do not say I'm looking down on you right now, unless my carcass is in fact launched and put in synchronous orbit over the funeral home. This, however, is very expensive. Although I do not know what it will be, talk extensively about what killed me and make everyone who is heading in that direction take it as a warning for themselves. Tell everybody in attendance I'm sorry for what I did and what I should have done. Say I did not always tell the truth, and for that I am both sorry and not sorry. Don't elaborate. Tell everyone I believe in reincarnation and to be on the lookout for me. I might not be that easy to recognize next time around, but I'll probably live in a warm climate. Do not say what I would have wanted or what I would have been feeling or what I would have said. Stick to what you know, your own feelings, but realize this isn't about you. So keep your comments short. Let there be much food after the funeral. Make sure there is bacon frying because it's one of life's best aromas. Make sure there are lots of cookies. The chewy kind, and serve macaroni and cheese because it is what I have missed the most since I became a vegan. Play Dylan's version of The Lone Pilgrim because I like these lines. The tempest may howl and the loud thunder roar, and gathering storms may arise, but calm is my feeling, at rest is my soul. The tears are all wiped from my eyes. Cross myself off the list. Let's go with, is that Layla Chambers? Leah, come on down.
Sorry, I will be joining you at Azalea Park tomorrow. I would love to, and I hope to make another hike at some point in the future. Yeah, I'm new to the society and to Charleston in general. I'm from Texas, y'all, but now I'm from Charleston. So I'm excited to be here and to meet all of you, and so excited to hear your poetry. This has really been, I'm really enjoying this. Oh, and just so you know, Jim, if I am the one to die, I do have a playlist on my Amazon Music titled When I'm Dead. So. I'm going to read a poem from my chapbook in waiting, which is called the Pilot Mom Poems. And this poem is entitled Last Scene. I saw my son near Bangor, Maine, near St. John's, near Keflavik and Faro, climbing a bolted route through clouds. I saw my son body surfing folly between tides, soaking in the home light. I saw my son as a green line on a computer screen ending at 1:46 a.m. in the shock of 21 guns, kneeling to offer, packing his bag again. I saw my son crying in the shadow of the clock tower, finding the deep water of the stroke. I saw my son near Farron 456 UCT, two-fisted, lifting the weight of a man who was father to him. I saw my son sipping scotch in a Glasgow pub, twisted in the canal, waving from the porch. I saw him grieve a dream, ungnarl history, wear an open heart t-shirt, float a feather in the upstream, in his driveway, in his Jeep, in Tallinn, in Landstuhl, in Rzeszów, in Constanta, on Strada Tudor, Vladimirescu, near the Black, Caspian, Baltic Sea. I saw my son nearing Cartwright, Canada, on this side of the world again. I saw him check his phone.
Thank you, Layla. I'm glad to have you in the Poetry Society of South Carolina. By any chance, were you a member of the Poetry Society of Texas when you were there?
I was not. I was busy being a professor of theater, so.
Oh. Well, the Poetry Society of Texas was founded based off of the Constitution of the Poetry Society of South Carolina. We were the first state poetry society. And then several southern states based themselves on us and were formed a year or two later. And still to this day, the Poetry Society of Texas has on their website that they're the oldest poetry society in the United States. And I have written them. And I got a very curt email back that said, well, there's lots of different ways of looking at that. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's go with, I'm going to pick up random, Lisa Spears.
Hi, everyone. I just joined tonight. This is my first time. I moved to this area from Illinois and about 7 years ago, finished my MFA at EWU in Washington. So let me pull this up off Docs. I'm getting used to reading off my phone. We'll see how that works. Okay, this poem is about rebuilding a life, and it is called Out on a Limb. Can you hear me? Okay. Out on a limb. Once a terror broke in, this house collapsed inside myself, and I had to rebuild a universe. In the void of that dark, God showed me the Orion and 1,000 stars like candles by my window. The sun rose again and flowers unfurled in the faces of my children. I journeyed and swam with orcas by canoe, touched a spirit on the water, and held the hand of Mother Mary in a remote Montana church. I felt the awe of the sun on painted walls, the wooden cross, and a little papoose. I fed deer in winter, touched twilight on the snow, and slept safely again under the stars' dying embers. Yes, I have known such splendor in my solitary rooms. Yet tonight I have scaled how days turned into years and climbed out on a limb under the silver moon. In the distance, I hear the sound of music and remember that I am a woman. I am mourning birdsong, the mountain and a valley, a field of wildflowers and wind through the pines. I am the last soft snowfall and the long dusk of summer's evening, a sandy shore and recurring tide. I'm the stone unturned, fragrance of a life with rough edges, a cool night's breeze, and the current of an ever-flowing river, with a passion never kindled to set it all on fire. Is there a man brave enough to see the universe, strong enough to hold the universe? I am climbing off this bough. I think it's time.
Thank you, Lisa. We just got a note that there's no sound on Zoom. I don't know, the blue light's on, so I don't know. Welcome to the Poetry Society, our newest member, apparently, and I hope you feel welcome to our family here, and I hope that you do not join the Poetry Society of Texas. Sandra Bregman. Sandra, there you are. Hey, come on down.
Well, I'm a fairly new member and enjoying it. Have a hard time hearing. Hope you can hear me. Mine aren't so long, so I'm going to read a couple. Okay. This first one's called Time. Time is but a flowing stream that ebbs and flows within a dream, across our lives that leap and spring, from winter's lull to summer's fling. Einstein marked thee well enough, as speed and distance in the rough. Our yoke is but a wispy beam of undulations through life's stream. Why try to grasp that myth called time, with clocks and dials and bells that chime? Our days have numbers we cannot know, and life is but a chance to grow. I have another. This one's called A Woman's Voice. What do you see when you gaze upon me from a distance? The light catching the curves of my features and drawing the eye to discern with pleasure, indifference, or disdain, to infer my very essence as experience moves you to perceive me. Am I sister, wife, lover, mother, daughter, or friend? In truth, I am all of these and more. As a woman, I am half of humanity, carrying life's hopes and dreams toward tomorrow, shedding silent tears, knowing pain, struggle, and the joys of striving for posterity, and the giving of self to our progeny, Along the way, I have often forgotten my personal aspirations while tending the needs of those dear to me. In turn, I have grown in spirit and wisdom, learning patience, tolerance, and strength, knowing joy, laughter, loss, and love, with an abiding appreciation for small kindnesses. Empathy fills my soul, but I seldom speak of this. Earth's constant beauty sustains me. I treasure memories and keep faith in tomorrow, traveling ever onward along this journey through life.
Thank you, Sandra. And congratulations on your first time reading in front of our group. It's tough. Sometimes they say that people would rather die than read in front of an audience. It's like, it's a bigger fear than dying. It's like it rates higher than dying. So anyone who gets up here is brave. In fact, I'm scared right now. So all right, we're coming down to the last two readers, and so our penultimate reader is Jennie Sherry.
I also joined this evening. Thank you so much. Louder. Can you hear me now? The title of this poem is called Presence. And I went to visit my parents, and this is what I wrote while I was visiting them. I sat by your side today. I was still, intentional with my breathing, then realized you are not breathing anymore. I listening with my eyes, my heart, my soul, all of me. I wanted to feel your presence. I hoped it was you. I thought it was you. But my heart still longed for your touch, your words, your lightness of being. You are such a force in my life. I think of you often. Precious memories. Still here with me, in me. Do you see me? Some days I think I feel I can touch you. Was it great light? Was it a sad moment? It was for me hearing you, then hearing you no more. Where are you? Do you know? That's it.
This has been fun. So we're going to end the way we started, and that's with President Tamara Miles, Dr. Tamara Miles. She has really hit the ground running with her presidency, which started this calendar year, and is really a dreamer and a visionary, and she's got so many great ideas for where we're headed. The Poetry Society has been around for 102 years at this point, and we have been a lot of different things. And I think the next big thing that we're going to be is through her guidance. So Tamara, come on down.
Every year I enter a contest. It's called the O-Bell 5 Words Poetry Competition. O''Bheal. It means out of the mouth in Gaelic Irish. And it is in Cork, Ireland is where this competition originated. And they do it once a week. So I encourage you to enter. It's very fun. They give you 5 words and you have to make a poem that includes those 5 words. So this is my my poem that I came up with: jar, climate, page, surface, and speckle. And the poem is called When My Lover's Eyes Flash. When my lover's eyes flash, in my hand a jar of lightning. Lampyridae beetles, small catalytic machines whose larvae emit light. Summer climate bioluminescence, color tuning, green and yellow, caution, go. A luciferous flashlight to attract and repel, insect evolution, excitation energy, kinetics, and in a rare event, male synchronous fireflies and blue ghost fireflies will blink in unison, 6 to 8 flashes, and then stay dark for several seconds, making a kind of laser light across a forest when my lover's eyes flash. Laser physics uses the term speckle to refer to a pattern made by a beam of light reflected on a surface, such as paper. An optical interference, spectral, and illuminated spot, dot, or dash, unwanted, but for the speckle-winged rangeland grasshopper. A method of concealment, its wings speckled dark, its underside pale yellow-green, translucent, when my lover's eyes flash. Grasshoppers too know how to fly when they need to. And when you are reaching out a hand to try and catch them, try to hold them. Did you know holding a firefly will eventually make it stop glowing? Thank you. What a joy. What a pleasure it has been to hear the poems from the older members, the newer members. It's very exciting, the brand new members. I would like to finish by just reading you a poem from 1922. I think this is, Jim, is that correct? 1922, where it all started, those earliest years. So we'll have a poem that I also read at Cypress Gardens with the Poetry Trails when I was in the front of the canoe. I was reading this while Tina was kind of trying to paddle us. And we also took a video at the same time. So there was a lot going on. But I love this. The Milk Boat by Josephine Pinckney. The dock reflected in the dove gray river is black against a moonrise sky. The light slants down treetops. 3 mellow bells pulse over the whirl and drone of a slow-voiced machine, enjoining silence, and then die between the languid water and the soundless night. From dairy buildings swaddled in a grove of night-black trees come men as dark as night. Loose, heavy boots resound upon the dock, and bare feet scuff. A boat far out of sight whose engine tick-tocks faintly like a clock is drowned by nearer shouts where dim shapes move, cumbrously splashing, and dark figures sneak to drive the cows that crunch marsh in the creek. Clearer, the approaching engine cuts the air, and out of luminous and moon-washed space, ghost gray, the boat comes up, swings to a curve, shows first a green and then a crimson eye, soul warmth in the uncolored tapestry. A small bell tinkles as she docks. The swerve churns the pale water round her landing place. Then come the boys, lugging the moon-bright cans, silvered like flagons for some god's great feast. The warm smell rises of the unseen white treasure. Davy's bowed back attests the honest measure. In his, as with clang it drops. Big Dan's is lightly swung aboard. From the white east, the falling light benevolently enfolds the beams from the smoky lantern Benji holds. The boat shoves off. The dairy hands drift back, trailing soft voices on the windless night. Light, lazy dickerings die along a track, and all is gathered to a silent land. A creekside doorway shows a sudden square, thrown by its light wood fire's orange flare upon the water-polished onyx, bright, scarce stirring under the moon's white, quiet hand. For Josephine Pinckney. let's have a few snacks. There's just a little bit back there and maybe a sip of wine if that's something that you enjoy. All right. Enjoy yourself and I'll see you next time. Thank you.